What we see today is obviously popularity of the crossovers, and particularly the small crossovers. And when it comes to premium, the fact that premiums are moving towards smaller cars and smaller engine. So we see from one side on premium, a lot of development, the booming smaller segment in premium, and particularly crossover and what you call the compact crossover. So I think today, bringing SUVs, bringing crossovers, downsizing in premium would be a good bet for what's happening now and probably for the next 2 to 3 years. The fact that the Chinese market is moving toward a 6–7% growth per year is not a bad news for people who are involved in China for the long term. People who are on the short term, yes, they can worry about, oh, you know, we need 9% or 10%. But what's going to come if you force the market? If you artificially you have a much higher growth than what you can sustain on the long term, is bad news. So I don't think the 6–7% growth rate is a bad news for people who are long-term involved in China. Automotive industry is in a war for talent. So because of this war of talent, you need to develop talent wherever talent exists and keep talent as much as you can. If I can find great engineers in China to develop a technology, I'm going to develop the technology in China. There is no more, oh, I want to develop this technology in my home country. There is no more this, because you need often hundreds and thousands of engineers, and you need a specific mindset in order to develop that. We cannot afford anymore the luxury to say we're going to develop everything in Japan, or we're going to develop everything in France, or we're going to develop everything in Germany. It doesn't exist anymore. You need the talent wherever you can find it. And as there is a lot of talent in China, I can tell you the Chinese R&D will take more and more importance for all the car makers. Well, I think today the challenge for the electric car is to sell the car. Today the sales are very disappointing for electric cars in China, even though governments have been supporting, policies have been addicted, but the consumer is not buying it. So today we have a kind of disconnect between car makers bringing the technology, participating to the new energy vehicle that the government has encouraged, but the consumer is not buying. They are not taking off in China, while in other markets they are taking off. I'm not worried. I think it will happen, but it will need probably more concerted action between government, local government, and car manufacturer in order to bring the consumer more to get familiar and buy in the electric cars. The two companies first are not competing against each other. They are part of the same team. Renault is a European company. It's a European brand. It's supposed to be competing at the top level in Europe. And Nissan is not competing against the European brand. Nissan is competing against the Asian brand. It's a team. And as a team, we are playing on different markets. We are helping on each market. A lot of people look at Renault-Nissan as competing teams. It's completely wrong. We're playing in the same team. We are part of the same group. We are part of the same alliance. We play together in a way which is complementary. And at the same time, we help each other. I can tell you that the progress of Renault in China will be much faster than the progress of Nissan in China, for a very simple reason. When Nissan came in China, it has to establish everything by itself. It has to select the suppliers, build the plants, establish the relationship, develop the dealer network, learn China by itself. And guess what? Now Renault is coming and copy-pasting everything Nissan has done, which obviously is a huge advantage because you don't have to learn what has been already learned by your partner. So you can expect that the growth of Renault in China will be much faster. That's a partnership.